Hello, everybody. This crazy time of the year, school just got out, and I wanted to put a wrap up on the season. Since we were unable to have our awards banquet, I thought I would down here in the Tyson Grindy studio. Thought we would fire something out to everybody and acknowledge some well-deserved honors for our players, and recap a little bit of the season. This season was unique. I think about the season prior to that, being the pinnacle of our program with the state tournament trip. We almost had to blow things up and start all over with this coming group. And I've been watching a lot of HGTV lately with my wife, and I almost, if I was to use a metaphor, it was almost like a total gut. We had to change pretty much everything that we did based on the group that we had coming back, and we knew we were starting all over again, and we loved the challenge as coaches, and the kids were great with it too. And just throughout the whole season, the whole process was very rewarding. And the season prior to that was, like I said, a highlight. But in many ways, this season was a highlight as well. I don't know if I've ever had a team that's improved as much as this team has improved from the beginning of the season to the end. So even though the wins and losses maybe didn't show it in the accolades, but we were just as proud of this group as we were of the team that we had, the prior season. So yeah, so that whole remodel went pretty well this year. We finished the season 13-13. I don't think there was a team in Section 1A that wanted to play us at tournament time because they knew how dangerous we were, and we had proven that with some big wins during the season, and we were competitive with every team that we played. So, all in all, as bizarre as everything ended, it was a rewarding year, and we're very proud of our team. So, getting to the awards portion of the program, like we always do every year, we have team awards. Team awards are special because they're voted on by the players themselves. And the first award is actually not voted on by a team, but it's a statistic that we keep all season long. It's called the Hustle Award. Anytime you dive on the floor, tip a ball, or take a charge, we keep track of that and we post that. So this year's Hustle Award winner with 84 Hustle points goes to Caden Grindy. Congratulations, Caden, for all your hard work and efforts. You are a member of the Hustle Trophy Awards and part of a long list and legacy of Spring Grove players that really bled for the team and believed in the nobody outworks us philosophy. So congratulations. The next award is the Most Improved Award. The Most Improved Award is the player from last season to the end of this season that had the most gains. Every year that we have this award, it's always a toss-up. There was 5 people voted highly for this award again. But I'm very happy to say that the person that got this Hustle or this Most Improved Award really came on strong for us about the time when we started to make the turn and become a very good quality basketball team. And he had a lot to do with that. Part of it had to do with the change in our defensive philosophy. We switched to more of a zone defense, and we needed this guy to play on the bottom. And that position is a position that requires a great deal of effort and speed and athleticism, and he did that for us. And without him coming in, fearless as he was, it would have been a challenge for us. And when he wasn't on the floor, we noticed it. So we're very proud to announce the most improved player for the 2020 season. Congratulations, Hunter Holland. One of the things I appreciate the most about Hunter is he's been through adversity in his life, and he's absolutely fearless. There's nothing that he's faced off the court or on the court that could ever derail him. So we're very pleased and look forward to his growth and improvement going forward, because he'll be a sophomore next year, and we look for big things from him. The next award is our Lion Award. This is a special award for the player who's the most inspirational player on and off the court in the locker room. Maybe not necessarily their number one player or even the guy who's a starter. Just the heart and soul of the team. And when I think about this player, it's very obvious to me how he was a leader and how he was voted as a Lion Award winner. Just incredibly durable and tough. Had many injuries throughout his career, but just would not give in. In fact, he wouldn't even tell us half the time when he was hurt or injured. So you can't help but feel inspired by that. I was at some point in times in my career wondering if he was ever going to be able to finish playing both football and basketball, but I was happy to see that he was able to make it through. And I've known him since he was just a little youngster, and I've seen him grow a great deal into a man, and his toughness was inspiring to our whole team. Therefore, our Lion Award winner is well deserving. Goes to Kyle Hagan. Congratulations, Kyle. Kyle was also voted our captain. He was our only captain. As a leader goes, some people lead by example, and some people lead vocally. And Kyle wasn't a vocal leader, but he was an extremely valuable leader by example. Okay, next is our MVP award. Our most valuable award is a award that goes to the player that you just can't afford to not have out on the court. They kind of do it all for you offensively and defensively. And this year, this player probably more than ever, our only returning player with substantial amount of time, we relied on him greatly, offensively and defensively, to be that leader on the floor. So almost a unanimous vote that this person was voted our most valuable player. Congratulations to Caden Grindy. My next team award is something I started once Lee Epps organized all of our record books and got them all up to date. Is a top 5 special achievement category, whether it's your career or single season. This one kind of slipped by us, actually. Lee contacted me later on and said we got a top 5 finisher. Originally, we didn't have one. And I must say I was thrilled to death to hear that I was able to specially honor or single out this player, because when I first met the big fella, we were trying to decide whether or not he was even going to be eligible to play. And we had our fingers crossed, but it didn't look good. And thanks to the efforts of Mrs. Anderson and some help from Mr. Schrader over in Caledonia, they were able to work with the State High School League and get this guy eligible to play for football as well as basketball. And I know that the rules and regulations of the State High School League oftentimes take a bad rap, but they got it right this time. And with the help of all the people here in Spring Grove and the support, we got to see a senior go out there and enjoy his career and get to be just like one of the guys, and he fit in so well right from the start. Always the first one there and the last one to leave. A pleasure to coach. I got a top 5 finish for single season for John Cook. John Cook, congratulations. You tied for first with single game reboundings with 20. Single game rebounds in a game with 20. And you also had a 5th place finish, tied with 18 rebounds in a single game. So congratulations, John. I love rebounders. You got a special place in heaven, buddy. So those are all of our team awards voted on by the team. Now the next awards are all conference. And there's 2 types of all conference. There's academic all conference, and then there's Southeast Conference all conference through play. First up, our academic all conference. You have to have a 3.4 GPA in the second quarter, and you have to be a letter winner to be eligible. This year we have 4 recipients of this award. And the first up, first academic all conference award winner goes to Wyatt Murphy. Congratulations, Wyatt. Wyatt's contribution on the court wasn't as much as his contribution in the locker room and on the bench and in practice. Just a great guy. I love having him. Love having him over to my house. Feel like he's part of the family. I probably gave him just as much teasing as I would have given any player I've ever had. I called him Wyatt Hirschberger. There's a long story behind that. You can ask him that question later on. But I never seen a guy, he never complained, and he was always happy, and he always embraced his role. And that's what team sports are all about. And you don't have success in anything unless you have people like Wyatt. And he's going to be truly missed. but I hope to have him around the house a lot more once the social distancing opens up and we can get back to it, because he's just a great kid and a great person to be around. Our next academic award winner, Academic All Conference. Congratulations to Reed Bierke. Reed Bierke is like the Swiss Army knife for us. He did it all. We had him playing inside, we had him playing outside, and there wasn't much that we didn't ask of him to do. And he did it all for us. He's a utility man, and he's been busting his tail this spring working and looking for a much expanded role next year. And we're excited about what Reed's going to be able to do for us next year. So congratulations, Reed. Our next academic award winner, Tyson Grindy, Academic All Conference. Congratulations, Tyson. I've had the privilege of seeing Tyson right before my eyes in the last half of a year change dramatically, both physically and his mentality athletically. I know he's my son, but I'm really excited to see what next year brings for him, because he's really embracing the work ethic that goes into getting better as an athlete. And he's always had the academic side. Now he's becoming the epitome of a student athlete, and I'm very proud of him. Our next Academic All Conference, nice to see, Elijah Solom. Eli does not, for those of you who know, he does not look like an 8th grader to be 9th grader. We put a lot of pressure on him to step out there on the floor and not play like an 8th grader, and he didn't. There were times where he was one of the best players on the floor. I've only played 2 other 8th graders in my entire career of coaching. One of them was Eric Elton, and the other one was Chase Grindy. You're talking about the number 1 and number 2 scorers in Spring Grove basketball history. So that's the kind of company he keeps. So we're very excited about what we think about Eli, and I know he's been working his tail off this spring, getting ready for his upcoming seasons of football and basketball. So congratulations to Eli. Your hard work and efforts in the classroom and on the court and in the weight room are paying off and will continue to pay off in the future. Next is Southeast Conference All Conference Award winners. This is voted on by all the conference coaches. We get together and we share our statistics, and then we vote. And this has become a very competitive league. The league is getting better and better at all times. It used to be that we dominated the league to the point where it was a detriment to us to play in the Southeast Conference. Now the other coaches are doing a much better job. The kids are all around us are working, getting better. The league is full of all conference players. So in order to make an all conference team, you have to be pretty special. So our first all conference member was a 3rd overall in the voting, led the conference in steals, and just has a motor and a desire to play the game that is going to probably propel him into the next level after high school, playing college basketball at some point. Our first team all-conference award winner goes to, congratulations, Caden Grindy. And honorable mention all-conference. Again, for a guy to come into a program totally brand new, have to navigate his way through a new system and coaches and players, and then to have the kind of impact that he had was extremely impressive. I loved coaching him. He was extremely coachable. And there wasn't one time that when I asked him to do something that he didn't do it. It was a true pleasure to have that opportunity to coach this young man. And I tell you what, his future is bright because he's got a work ethic and he's a great teammate, and he fit in here marvelously. I'm proud to say that honorable mention all conference goes to John Cook. Congratulations, John. I know the awards, you single out certain players, but we have 3 seniors here that didn't receive awards, but I just kind of like to say a couple words and acknowledge them. First up goes to Caleb Nerstead. Those of you know, Caleb didn't play his junior season, and we missed him. He would have been in our rotation. He would have been our 6th or 7th man coming off the bench. And I think Caleb had a chance to reflect on it, and took a lot of courage to come back and talk to me and say, hey, he wanted to come back to the team and play. And anytime you quit or you're not a part of the group, you have to come back and prove to the coaches and prove to your teammates that you are dedicated and you're committed. And man, every practice, worked hard, intelligent player, picked up on things fast. And you could see early on in the season that he was going to be probably our first, second best player. That's the kind of talent that he had. Taking some time off hurt him. He knows it. He realized it. But we always say the better off late than never. And I'm so glad that he didn't have to end his career, in the bleachers. He got to be out there on the court with his buddies and playing ball and making memories. We talked about it all the time. The Houston game at Houston, it was an incredibly thrilling game. In overtime, we won the game, and Caleb was sky high. And I said, hey, just think, you could have been sitting in the stands and not getting to participate. And he was tickled pink. So that's some of the best parts about coaching, when you see moments like that, when you get to share in that enthusiasm and that excitement that kids, get to realize. And so happy that Caleb came out, and it made a huge difference in our team this season. Up next is Peyton Leahy, another senior guard for us. Peyton, another stick-to-it award guy. Got sick about 2/3 of the way through the season. Nobody really knew what it was. Missed a large chunk of games, and when he was gone, we struggled. His ability to shoot the basketball, really affected us. So when Peyton was cleared and healthy and he came back, immediately we saw the impact, and that was part of that time period I told you about, where we got going about February. We really started to be a competitive team. I know it's a long time, February, but at that point in time, we felt good about what we were doing, and a lot of that had to do with Peyton. And of course, next is Alan Michaels, our other senior. Alan's played his whole career, elementary, junior high, JV, varsity, getting minimal minutes here and there, but stuck to it. Another stick-to-it guy. And I was very excited to see when I believe it was Channel 8 came down to interview us and do a story on Alan. And they wanted to talk about the reaction that our crowd had when Alan would go into the game. And honestly, that was some of the highlights of the season. When Alan would get in the game, there was a certain energy about what he did on the floor. And it didn't take him long to get his shots up. And when he hit it, it just was a highlight. And yes, maybe he wasn't a full-time player and, earning honors and accolades that way, but he got out there on the floor, he stuck with it, and he's got memories for the rest of his life about, being the guy that ignited the whole crowd. And the news channel came down to do a story on him and no one else. So those three players, Caleb, Peyton, and Alan, I don't have a tangible award for you, but I just do have an acknowledgement of the stick to it and the stick with it. And those are life skills that are going to serve you well down the road. So we're very proud of that group of 6 seniors that we were able to coach this season. So those are all the awards that we have, but every time we do have a banquet, we like to send out thank yous. And big part of me, sitting down in Tyson's studio here is to send a shout out to all the many people involved in what we do in our basketball program. I'm really proud of those people. So first off, my coaches, Coach Lochner and Coach Vicks, I was thinking about it. I think it's 24 years that Coach Lochner and I have been together, and it's 24 years that Coach Vicks and I coached against each other. And now we have Coach Vicks on staff. I feel very fortunate to have those guys helping out, because every practice, I really enjoy coming to practice. I have 2 extremely good coaches, extremely intelligent men, and it just takes a lot of the burden off of one guy, and I can rely on them so much, and I value their opinions. Both of them are like family to me in the ways that, one of them's like my dad and one's like my uncle. And they just give me great advice, and they know that I get a little overexcited at times, and they're able to laugh and joke and tease me and kind of keep me in line. But at the same time, a mutual respect that we have is unique. You just don't see that. So getting to coach together with these guys towards the end of my career has been a definite highlight for me. So A big thank you to Coach Lochner and Coach Vicks. Just enjoy every minute of it and love you guys. Going down to my junior high, it's exciting for me that after I've been around a while now, I have the opportunity to hire some of my former players that know about our program and how we do things and what we teach and about discipline and accountability and all the things that go into making a successful team and program. And we're thrilled to have Eric Elton and Toby Leahy working with our junior high guys and just doing a great job of passing on those skills, fundamentals, and discipline, quite frankly, that make quality men. And big thank you to Eric and Toby. Next to our elementary coaches, basketball's changed so much. It's not just opening the gym when you're coaching 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade anymore and letting them, scrimmage and throw the ball around. Some of your best coaches have to be elementary coaches. They have to be well-schooled and understood basic fundamentals, and they got to be incredibly dedicated because they're donating their time. And one of the things I've noticed here in the near past future that we have is we have a lot of people that are just here for the kids. And Robin Bartell and Darcy Thorson working with the young guys, and there's just as much enthusiasm in the way that they go about coaching as anybody I've seen. So it's fun to have them be part of the program and bring that energy to the group. And then Chris Bierke, Marty Lester, and Danny Eichen. I got 2 former players, and Marty Lester and Danny Eichen, who are, just awesome with the kids. And, their future in coaching here in Spring Grove, we want them as much as we can get. We want to see them be a part of the program as long as the program is here. And Chris Bierke just fits right in. The personality and the love and the caring that he has for the kids is special. So our elementary kids are in excellent hands. And I can't go on without saying a little something about Rachel Bierke and Sammy Eichen too, because they're kind of the brains behind the bunch, I think. If anytime we need anything, maybe off the court, we can talk to Rachel Bierke, we can talk to Sammy Eichen, and they get it going. They're taskmasters, and we appreciate, the total team effort we have from all those people running the youth program. So much appreciated, guys. Then you got to talk about a great, cool story about my managers. So every year I come to the conclusion that I have 3 or 4 managers, and sometimes we ask people directly, sometimes we open it up. Well, this year I had so much interest between the 5th and 6th graders that I opened it up. Well, I got 9 people that wanted to be managers. So obviously, not thinking we can have 9 people, I thought I would make it a little more of a challenge to be a manager. So I challenged those guys they had to go write a letter of they had to write a letter of application as to why they would be a good manager, and they had to get 2 references that supported why they would make a good manager. Well, I was hoping that might weed some people out. Not that I didn't want everybody to manage, but I thought it might really get to the guys that were serious, because it's a big job and it's a task and it's a big commitment, school-wise and nights and games and responsibilities to handle that way. Well, they all came back. I had 9 people with letters of applications, and I had all their references, and they were all so good. After I read through them, I just felt like there's no way I can decide between these guys, so I hired them all. So we had 9 basketball managers this year. We had 4 5th graders and we had 5 6th graders, and we just did a rotating basis. Like one day it's your turn, the next day it's the 6th grader's turn, and vice versa with the games as well. And so I really enjoyed that. I think anytime you can share what we do and have guys there as much as they can, it's a great learning opportunity. So big thanks to my 5th graders, Dylan Halverson, Travis Fish, Caden Gerard, and Gabe Van Minsel. And my 6th graders, Carson Betcher, Cashton Newgard, Dash Ransenberger, Devin Williams, and Lyric Statler. Been a lot of fun to have all you guys there, and I appreciate all your help. Up next is the support staff, I guess is the best way to call it. Tanya Elton. I remember thinking, well, once Noah graduated, I wonder if, I had an epiphany one day that is Tanya going to be back? And I started to get nervous because I just took for granted really, that Tanya and Casey were going to help do the book. And, they've been doing it for, I don't know, 15 years. So I assumed that would be. And I went to Tanya with my fingers crossed, and she said, of course, I'll keep book. And I just a load off my shoulders. So big thanks to Tanya for always being there. And then, of course, I alluded to this early, and Mrs. Anderson, in John Cook's situation, we talked all summer. She went to bat for him as an athletic director. And I really think that, following the rules to a T and doing it the right way paid off for everybody. Not to mention everything else that we do in our program that we need Mrs. Anderson to take care of. And, John owes her a debt of gratitude. The team and the coaches all owe her a debt of gratitude for everything that she's done. So thank you to Mrs. Anderson. And then, of course, Jess. So Jess is our caretaker. She's more than just our athletic trainer. She's become a bit of a mother to everybody, including us coaches. As we get a little older and more banged up, we can go and talk to Jess for about anything. So it's nice to have what I call a support staff that just cares about everything. And Tanya, Shelley, and Jess are certainly that. So thanks, guys. Lee Epps. I talk about Lee every year, about what he does for our program with stats and pictures and whatever. But I think now everybody gets it since the Spring Grove Herald is no more. Without Lee to, keep us updated and write the articles. And I think parents now are understanding how valuable he was. I always have known it. And he's such a big part of our program and everything that we do. If you guys happen to see Lee, maybe you can convince him to maybe do a little flyer or a newsletter, because I think we're all going to miss those wonderful articles and all the efforts he puts into it. And I know parents certainly do. Many have talked to me. So big thanks to Lee Epps. And of course, lastly, the parents. You've heard me say this before. Sports are no longer considered sports. They are a lifestyle, whether you agree with it or not, whether you like it or not. And it does not work well unless all parents are on board. If the parents, the players, and the coaches are on board, we can do great things and we can make a difference. We can set kids up for their futures. We can teach them the work ethic and the discipline and the accountability. And we've always valued that in our program. And we think that if you play for us, you're going to learn life skills, among other things, basketball related. But our tradition and our all the former athletes that come back and talk to us and come back to practice, they echo those sentiments. So parents, it's been a fun ride. It always is. It's sad to see it end. And part of the reason why I'm doing this awards banquet online here in the studio is because I think it's important for parents to hear the good things about their kids. But I'm also here to say thank you to you parents as well, because like I said, we don't have success without you guys. And the future parents that have kids coming up, we need your support during this difficult time. We're going to have to get creative, and we're going to have to figure out new ways to build a program and to keep that program going. And it's probably now more than ever we're going to require and need that supportive parent. So big thanks to all the parents again, as usual. I'd be remiss if I didn't stop and say thank you to Amy Murphy. We're going to lose Amy here with Wyatt being a senior. I hope she likes to stay part of our program, because the pictures and the photos and anything, getting towels for the team when Coach Grindy misplaces them, and all the things that she's done for us over the years, and just her positive attitude. It's hard to graduate seniors because a lot of time you graduate parents too. So hopefully we keep Amy involved in the program. Thanks, Amy. So I guess to wrap things all up, like I said, I'm sitting here in the studio, and Tyson's going to do some editing and try and make this entertaining. But the last thing I'd like to do is just send out a quick message to, we talked about, blowing up the house and totally remodeling and starting over last year. That was a challenge. We enjoyed that challenge, but I think we can all see what happens when we haven't been, putting those bricks in the wall. And if there's a challenge for you guys going forward, Um, I think we can enjoy things even more if we start putting the bricks, stacking those bricks this summer, this off season, and that's really going to involve your self dedication and parents helping out, and we'll see what the state high school league allows us to do. But probably more than ever, it's going to be coming down to independent. Are you getting shots up in the driveway? Are you doing your strength and speed and conditioning? Are you throwing the baseball? Are you doing all those things that we as coaches provided for you that we may not be able to? If you want to maximize your opportunities to play and get the most out of your career, even though that sports career is this much, put the time and effort in. You will never regret it. And hopefully it pays off for you in these awards that we're passing out right here tonight. But even if it doesn't, maybe it lifts you to an opportunity to play in a state tournament like we did in the past. So if you are going to participate in anything extracurricular, do the work. Put the time in. You'll feel so much better about yourself and your teammates, and it'll be so much more rewarding experience. And as coaches, we love the fact that we have people that have buy-in, that we have shared ownership. And instead of trying to have to motivate you on a daily basis, we want people who want to be there. So I encourage all of you, even though we're maybe locked out of our gyms for the summer, find a way to get it done. And we'll build a new house next year, HGTV style. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed my little awards program. Like I said, I wanted to put some closure on the season and honor everybody that was a part of the program again. So hey, we'll see you around, mask or not, or 6 feet away or not. We'll get through this together, and life will go on, and we'll all be better for it. I've already seen growth in many of us, including myself, in the ways that we've learned how much we appreciate just the little things. So that ends my program for the 2019-2020 season, and we'll see you.